Good morning, it's Steve here. Just had my shower, had breakfast. Life is good. So we're gonna talk about a couple of things. I had one of my friends who I hadn't communicated with for a long time send me an email and ask me a question. What's the difference between the magnetic heart activation and this new cellular light body activation? So I thought I'd record this both for him and for everybody else. There's two basic differences. I've been thinking about this because I've had the magnetic heart activation for coming up on 2 years. It's been developing for 2 years as of this November coming up, November 2012. I've got the three levels. The three levels have come through. I'm expecting at least a fourth level, maybe a fifth level. We'll see. That'll show up when it shows up. And then the new cellular light body activation is literally brand new, like it's literally like this week. So here's the difference. The light body activation comes from, at least in the world, it comes from the tradition of the Merkaba and sacred geometry. I'd studied a little bit informally and formally Merkaba and light body activations and some sacred geometry, mostly through Drunvalo Melchizedek, as well as through Master Yoga's Ananda Roshi, who I was initiated to do her version of the 5D, fifth dimensional light body activation, which is activating and turning on the Merkaba. And then the cellular one comes from that and comes from the tradition of the Merkaba, from Ananda, from Drunvalo, and several other traditions. And it uses sacred geometry to affect the person. So with the activation of the Merkaba, the two pyramids that are intersecting, that spin in opposite directions, that creates a magnetic, the way I understand it, that creates a magnetic field that affects the body. It affects the body as a whole, or in the case of the cellular one, it affects the individual cells. The Merkaba around each individual cell and possibly each atom creates magnetic effects on the cell, on the atom, transforming it into kind of a higher version of itself, and therefore having the benefits of the superficial benefits of dropping things like karma, trauma, emotional scarring, and a lot of issues get resolved, both consciously and unconsciously. And it, according to some traditions, both the cellular light body activation as well as the more traditional light body activations like Ananda's, like Drunvalo, as I understand it, bring us up into a higher level and prepare us for the changes that are already pretty powerfully going on in the world. So the first one, it uses sacred geometry to create magnetic fields to affect the body. The activating the magnetic fields of the heart is sort of similar but different, but it doesn't use sacred geometry in the same way, and it starts in the body and creates magnetic fields by changing something in the body which affects the body, which brings us to have similar kinds of effects for the personality. Through a particular process that I was given, it changes certain interaction of molecules inside the heart, creating a different kind of magnetic field in the body, which shifts the way the body and the personality and the intellect and the unconscious experiences and interprets reality, and therefore it allows things to come up and be cleared and clean. So one is a bit more of creating something that affects the cells of the body, almost sort of the outside in. It's very powerful. And the other one, the activating magnetic fields of the heart, changes something in the body and affects from the inside out. The benefits to the personality are very, very similar, I believe, although I will continue to learn about both as time goes on. The most important thing, however, is both of them have the same, in my opinion, the same long-term fundamental goal, which is to have the person at whatever level begin to identify themselves as more and more and more, both intellectually, but more importantly on the deep unconscious level and on the physical level, begin to identify themselves as that light of all that is, as that the stuff that they have been made from, that everything about them is from, is source energy, and therefore everything is not, all the problems that they have are not what they seem. There is no problems. Ultimately there is not problems. That gradually over time, through these processes, they begin to let go of more and more and more quickly, and use these processes to allow that to happen, and then of course take the rest of the tools that we have in our little bag, like the theta healing technique, like the belief work, like any other processes that you have, like meditation, like talking to your friends, and accelerate that experience of more and more oneness with Source, that you are Source, that I am Source, that everything's Source, and that we aren't the victims that we thought we were, and that people out there aren't stupid and bad and causing us problems, that at the end of the day we're the source of everything we're experiencing. But through these processes that seem to be coming through, and through techniques like the theta healing and meditation and lots of other amazing cool stuff, we get to let go faster and faster and faster, because the world is changing so profoundly, and we want to keep up, and we want to have the peace and happiness that we love. So that's basically what I understand the difference between the two processes, the cellular light body activation and the activating the magnetic fields of the heart, for now. I may learn more. I probably will learn more later, but that's what I think at the moment. Have a great day. Remember to feel good. Okay, bye.